On this week's GTA 6 o'clock, is this the GTA 6 theme?
I mean, it's truthy. I can believe it.
The Vice City Zoo?
And there's a zoo outbreak, and you have to go around, capture all the animals and plonk them back in the zoo.
And could Trailer 2 be just weeks away?
That's next week, is the only window.
It's all here on this week's GTA 6 o'clock. Hello and welcome to episode 46 of GTA 6 o'clock, the world's most in-depth and best connected GTA 6 show. I am your host, James JJ Jarvis, and joining me in the studio, as ever, to talk all things Rockstar and GTA 6 is Dan D.D. Dawkins. Hello, Dan.
Good day.
Good day to you. Quickly, off the top, thank you to everyone who tuned in last week, and if you're new here, welcome along. Thanks for joining us on the ride towards the release of GTA 6. Big shout out to everyone who commented on the show last week that Rockstar are actually using Miami's actual area code. Those people include Antoine Powell, Mustard Sauce, and Noldad. So for confirmation, yes, the phone number that you can see on the side of the restaurant building, which starts 305-555, is the same as the actual Miami, Florida area code, which all start 305, or in some instances 786. But that is the actual area code for the southeastern part of Florida in the US. Mustard Sauce also asked if GTA 5 used LA's area code. And we did touch on this slightly last week. And no, in fact, it did not. The LA area code is 213 or 323. And most of the phone numbers in GTA 5 started with 346. So, open question, is this a little hint towards the sign that there's another shift towards a fuller representation of like a real life, more grounded environment in GTA 6 versus GTA 5?
I don't know. It might just be that it was easier to do it this time than it was the last time. It might be for some bizarre, sort of technical reason. I do think GTA 6 will be more realistic. I mean, not as insane as to include refueling, but, I think that will definitely be a thing. On refueling, I wanted to say thanks to everyone in the comments who's turned the pro and anti-refueling thing into a massive debate, which is great.
It is a massive debate, and a debate that you are wrong about.
Another interesting thing from the comment section on YouTube last week, I thought this was good. A few people piped up to say that Manny L. Perez, who is the rumoured actor playing Lucia, didn't in fact go on complete shutdown on socials, but did turn comments off.
Yes. So,
thank you for making that distinction. Still active, but now engaging rather than broadcasting. So I thought that was good. Something else I want to throw in, and this is a thing, all podcasts are obligated to do. Don't forget, you can also listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I mention it because I haven't looked at our Spotify page for a while, but allow me to shout out to the 94 people who have rated us 4.9 out of 5 on Spotify.
That's the classic Uber rating of someone has gone slightly below a 5, which pushes it down to 4.9. I mean, but that is still a very good rating.
That's exceptional. That's a 98% review score.
Yes.
So I'm taking that as a massive positive. Thank you, genuinely. That's really helpful for us. And also to mention that on Apple Podcasts, where we're also available, we only have 5 reviews. They're all 5 out of 5, but there's only 5. So if someone wants to be the GTA 6th, please jump on to Apple Podcasts.
Nice.
And give us a 6 out of 5, which might bump up the rating even higher. But, genuinely, don't forget we are available on other platforms, and we really appreciate your support.
And finally, then, just before we jump in to this week's news and discussion points, there were other comments from last week's episode of people saying, wow, we really need Trailer 2 now to discuss something else. I fully agree with you. We will get onto a little bit of Trailer 2 talk later in this episode, but the sooner that trailer comes, the better for us all.
Can I just say a special shout out to I can't remember his name and I'm sorry. One of the commenters said, I love this. I could have another 2 hours of it. So if you want to strap in for another year of us talking about Trailer 1 for 2 hours, we got your back.
So first up this week to talk about then is something that was actually sent in by Ziad via email, who said, hi, I saw this on X and thought it could be useful to discuss on the next ep of GTA 6 o'clock. And the soundtrack is kind of fire. Keep up the good work. Your show makes my Wednesday 10 times better. Thank you. First of all, thank you for your email. Really appreciate you getting in touch. If you want to get in touch with us, you can. Just email us gtavio'clock@gmail.com and we will take a look at all of your comments, and we do get quite a few every week, so thank you for everyone who is emailing in. What they actually linked to was a Twitter post suggesting that this could be the theme for GTA 6, so let's give it a little listen. So then, Dan, your first thoughts on this before I dive into some facts?
I mean, it's truthy. I can believe it. I quite like it. I think the important thing that is brought out here is that the slow cadence of the theme tune. That now, whether that's true of, again, I haven't listened back to every single game. Is that true of every game or just the one we remember last? But it, by that measure, I dare say there's a lot of tracks we could slow down to 0.75 speed and they sound GTA-ish, but the vibe is good. The vibe is correct. Does it make it true? I don't know. We'll discuss it. I do like the vibe.
Yeah, you've jumped the gun a bit here on some of the facts, but that's fine. The Twitter account in question was actually sharing information like under the guise of this being a brand new thing. It's definitely not a brand new thing, so I won't mention that Twitter account. But if you dig down into the source, you can find a Reddit post from actually 2 years ago asking the community if this is Rockstar teasing the theme. So, as I mentioned, where did this come from? Well, it's a post on Reddit from XDevious, who goes into the details of where this track's actually come from. There's an arcade machine in GTA Online, which you can find in the arcade or the auto shop. And there's a game in that called Race and Chase, which is, incidentally, the original code name of GTA 1 before it became Grand Theft Auto. I'm sure you all know about that. There's a level within that called LS Night, like Los Santos Nights.
Yeah.
And you can hear an 8-bit version of the cover of GTA 5's main theme, which is this. And then, if you slow it down by 0.75%, you get this. Which is pretty much the theme, an 8-bit version of GTA 5's theme. I'm putting theme in like inverted commas there because I don't think GTA 5, I mean, it has a theme, but I don't think it's the official, like, hey, this is the theme. I might be wrong about that. Maybe it is. But
it's the music, it's the menu music that burns in your brain that you associate with playing it. Is it the, like you say, official theme in the same way there's a national anthem? I don't know. Discuss.
So then within the game, there's also a level called Vice Lights. Now, obviously, Vice City being the setting for GTA 6, you could read into this as much as you want. If you slow down the Vice Lights theme song by the same percentage, 0.75, you get what we just heard originally, this. which sounds like, as you said, a plausible rendition of what could be a GTA 6 theme. So, put your myth-busting hats on here. From my point of view, could this be a tease? Yes. Is it likely to be a tease? I'm going to say no, from my point of view, mostly because it was added so long ago. Like, this was added more to GTA 5 more than 2 years ago. That feels like, although there is precedent for them adding little teases and things into the online versions of previous games to tease the next game, this just feels like too soon for me. And it was, a long time before we officially knew that the game was going to be set in Vice City. There's also another point to this, that the game does go from location to location within the game. So Race and Chase has different locations, including Vice City, San Fierro, Los Santos, Las Venturas, Liberty City. So what it's doing is covering, for me, all the games up into the point of GTA 5, looking back at all of those previous games rather than looking forward and hinting towards the next game. The only thing I think that doesn't quite fit is that this is a new song or like a new track. And why wouldn't you use like the Vice City theme or one of the tracks, memorable tracks from Vice City, and make an 8-bit version of that rather than go out and make a new thing? But the flip side of that is I think they're just adding a nice new song to the soundtrack for this game.
Yeah, I think they will be. I think this is a wonderful piece of community digging and really wonderfully presented in that, it's not saying it's definitely true, but it's a really interesting piece of archive digging to go, could this be? I think the answer is we just don't know. I don't think so. It seems a bit implausible, but it's a lovely piece of community posting. So like this sort of stuff, yes, thumbs up. Like, I think this is a great thing for the community to dive into and discuss.
Yeah.
Something we were just saying is about, just as we checked as we were on air, has GTA 5 got an official theme? Yes, is what we meant to say.
I meant to say yes.
Yes, it's Welcome to Los Santos, which apparently is by Ben Morfitt, or Squid Physics, as he's known to his friends.
To me and you.
So yeah, there we go. So what will this theme be called? Welcome to Leonida, by whoever it's going to be.
I had a quick side note to add on this as we're talking about music and theme tunes and that kind of thing. What do you think, and I'm going to put you on the spot, about being able to access previous games' radio stations or previous cities' radio stations now that GTA 6 is set in the digital age? For example, in real life, I can listen to pretty much any radio station anywhere in the world right now with a little bit of jiggery pokery and pretending that I might be somewhere or uploading an app or whatever. Do you think there's a possibility that we might be able to, like, for example, tap into Liberty City Radio and listen to tracks either from that game, although that would cause a little bit of a timeline loop and it might be a bit weird, or you're just listening to radio stations that still exist in those cities but are now playing like an updated playlist?
I think we've talked about this a bit before. On one hand, Rockstar are kind of obligated to reflect the reality of music listening in the modern world, where I think to give you access to all of music all at once, or, not all of music, obviously, but to give you maybe access to this unparalleled and enormous library. My question is, like, should they? No, is the definitive answer. No, they shouldn't. Because what I think it ruins is when you get these, and this is what I think was so magical about GTA Vice City, is the first time you got on the motorbike, everyone had Billie Jean come on as the first track, and it felt like it was, oh wow, Billie Jean came on. It could have been anything. It was always going to be Billie Jean.
Yeah.
So then everyone gets that shared moment of something wonderful in a game that's otherwise very emergent, complete sandbox, chaotic. Everyone crafts their own moments and stories within the game, but you get this shared line through. I think it's important to have that. Otherwise, it might be, if we're discussing GTA 6, oh, remember that bit where Lucia did this? Oh, yeah, it was brilliant when Dr. Dre kicked in. And I go, oh, that's funny. I was listening to the Wurzels. Google it.
Wow, that is a reference for you.
That would be weird. right? That would be weird.
It wouldn't work, would it?
No, and I sometimes think we can't be trusted to have choice. This is terrible. I sound like an evil autocratic dictator. I just think in creative works, there are times where it's okay to author it. So I think, yes, fine, unlock these things, but save them for moments maybe when you're completely freeform and ambling and walking around the environment. But within bits of the game, I think you need to basically create shared moments. I think anything in this fractured world, anything that brings us together is to be applauded.
You heard it here first. So let's move on then to the topic of the week, topic of the month, topic of the year, probably. And this is obviously around Trailer 2. Could we be just weeks away from Trailer 2? We've discussed this last week. Take-Two has an earnings call coming up. It's going to be held on November the 6th, which is now, as the time that you're listening to this, only 2 weeks away. Last year, this was the call that started hey, we'll be sharing more information soon, which ended up getting us a trailer in December. But is there a chance that they'll drop the trailer before this call? We got an email from George on this very subject who wanted us to talk about Trailer 2's release date. We have obviously discussed this on many episodes before.
Yep.
So the quick summary is, if we're to get Trailer 2 before the end of the year, there are only 8 weeks between the date of this episode and December the 20th in which that can happen. Why stop on December the 20th? Well, no one's probably releasing any trailers after December the 20th.
Don't bring it out on Christmas Day or some other fantastical celebration.
I mean, they could.
Well, exactly. They could do anything, but please don't.
But please don't do that. So what that leaves us with is Trailer 2 for GTA 5, Skeletons, Stevie Wonder on the soundtrack, came out November the 14th, 2012, 1 year, 2 weeks after Trailer 1, 10 months before the release of the game. We're currently predicting GTA 6 to arrive between September the 1st and November the 30th, which puts it in that fall window. Mm-hmm. That's 2025, obviously, currently. So a trailer in November, assuming there's a roughly 10-month gap like there was for GTA 5, gives you a September release date, tick, or a trailer in December pushes that into October, still well within the fall window. If you want to get specific on dates or weeks that trailer could hit, I'm going to say rule out everything for the rest of October. There's only like 1 week left, but we should probably just cross that off. That's not going to happen. Also, Red Dead 2 is coming to PC on October the 29th. It would feel weird to go, we're releasing this game on PC. But also, don't forget about our other game. I don't think they'd put those two marketing beats that close together. November the 4th to the 8th is the Take-Two investor call, which is on November the 6th. So it's the week of that. The day before that is November the 5th, but that's US election day. Do they really want to put out something on US election day?
No.
Also, Guy Fawkes Day or Fireworks Night in the UK. Not as much of a significant event, but still an event nonetheless. November the 3rd is National Sandwich Day.
They'd be fools.
Ridiculous to put something out on that day. And November the 6th is National Nacho Day. So again, why would you release a trailer? So that week, what I'm saying is quite busy. Feels like that week is unlikely, possible, unlikely, unless it's the day after the investor call. But yeah, I'm a bit wobbly on that one.
That's a big week. I mean, between the election, which is going to utterly dominate the news cycle, whichever way it goes, and is seismic, the investor call almost pales in comparison, but is huge. And I think the only reason you might get a trailer before, I'm arguing in theory, not in belief here. You might get a trailer before the investor call is because there's something market sensitive that they would want out there to discuss on the call or to have out in the open, to share it with the public first before they share it in a call. And then, if it affected the release date or something involving financials. But I don't know though.
On that token, then that's next week is the only window that could really happen. Like they're not doing it like Monday the 4th, maybe. Otherwise, it's next week, which
Tuesday the 5th is election day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've talked myself out of it.
Okay. Well,
So there we go. There's no bad news. Well, certainly if it is next week.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, fine. Well, I can carry on going through these things. November 11th to the 15th. Monday the 11th is Veterans Day. They could avoid that and put it out on the Tuesday or the Thursday that week. November the 18th to the 22nd. Nothing much is happening during that week. November the 25th to the 30th is Thanksgiving week. Thanksgiving is on Thursday the 28th, which means Black Friday will be on Friday the 29th. So probably rules out that Thursday, potentially, as another event is happening. Doesn't mean they can't do things when other events like this are happening. It could be the Tuesday that week, which would be the 26th of November. And December the 2nd to the 6th is an interesting week. Cyber Monday is December the 2nd, is neither here or there. Trailer 1 was planned for December 5th, actually ended up coming out on December 4th because of all the leaks. Yeah. December 5th this year is a Thursday, which is a good day, as we've previously discussed on the show for releasing things. Well, as good a day as any. Well, Tuesday or Thursdays we think are the best days. And it's in Rockstar's history that Tuesday or Thursdays works. So do they drop it exactly 1 year after Trailer 1 on exactly the same day, just a year later? There's something quite nice about that. I'm sure they'd quite like that as a lot of people will probably write that up as exactly 1 year after the first thing, we get another glimpse at GTA 6. Going later into the year, December the 9th to the 13th, well, the Game Awards is Friday the 13th. There is potential to do it earlier that week on maybe the Tuesday the 10th or Thursday the 12th. And then we're into the period that we said was too late for December 16th to 20th. So for my money, we are looking at 3, maybe 4 weeks of a potential release date. November the 15th, November the 11th to the 15th, November the 18th to the 22nd, which is the week after that, or December the 2nd to the 6th, plonking it in the middle of that for the exact 1 year anniversary. If I was putting money on it, I'm going for that. Like, it's quite late because it's December, but it's only as late as when they released Trailer 1. It has a lovely marketing ring to it of being, exactly a year after. And it avoids all the other world events and things that are happening by a good couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm just doing a bit of mental evaluation on when I think it would be. I'm inclined to agree that I think the sort of first week of December feels the most plausible. The counter argument I'm going to put forward is the Game Awards, and the date is a little bit dependent on your time zone. So it's like Thursday the 12th, but for UK viewers, it's probably it's an ungodly hour.
Yes, it's like 4 a.m.
But it is technically Friday the 13th. In a way that you'd rather not know, but it is like 4 a.m. or whatever it is. It's obscene. It's the Game Awards 10th anniversary this year. Does that make it more or less likely Rockstar would align with them? Actually, I don't think it matters. I think Rockstar will just do their own thing. And they may not even like the idea of gifting or competing with the Game Awards on that date.
No, as we've discussed before, I'm sure there's a bit of it that they'd love to compete with them, but working with them alongside all the other trailers that will be shown at that event feels like it's too much of a an everyone party rather than a single event. That, I mean, look at the effect that Trailer 1 had, and the event. It was an event in itself. It doesn't need a separate event to exist. I think they can quite happily make their own milestone.
I totally agree. So, and a thing I'll throw in as a comedic aside, may I request of Rockstar, they do not release the trailer on November the 21st. because that's when we're hosting the Golden Joystick Awards, unless they want to announce it within the Golden Joystick Awards, in which case that's fine. And we'll do a live analysis on stage if that happens. We won't, because that would be weird for the guests in attendance. Well, maybe at the end when people are filtering out. Or please avoid that day, Rockstar, unless you're doing it with us. Now, the dates I like, the same as you. I like the lyrical and rhyming nature of it being December the 5th, because that's also it's a good day for trailers. It's a Thursday. There's enough time in the week. It's a day that trailers drop. I like December the 5th. I also quite like Tuesday, December the 10th, as something that could be done far enough away from the Game Awards to stand as its own thing, but be sufficiently out of the way for them to have had their moment and for potentially Rockstar to do something that nods towards the 10th anniversary of the Game Awards without giving away their crown jewels. So my favourite dates are those two, the 5th and the 10th of December. You may or may not have heard it here first.
You definitely have. Put it in your calendars now. Start the countdowns. I mean, the only thing I would say in addition to this is if none of this happens and we don't get a trailer this year, I probably start leaning quite heavily towards the game has been delayed and we're waiting for the announcement of a delay sometime early 2025 of like, hey, we're pushing this back into 2026.
I sadly agree. I think if we don't see anything this side of the new year, and let's face it, by the new year we do mean like set it up top December the 20th. I think you're in worry mode.
Yeah, I mean you're only in December 10 months away from a fall release. If there's nothing to show by then, you're not showing anything. Probably not in early Jan. People don't, the news cycle doesn't pick up again till mid-January. Not to say that, I mean, obviously, drop a GTA trailer, the news cycle ramps right up.
Yeah.
But it's not a traditional thing. So then you're into February. Then you're only 8 months out. Still possible, but based on previous marketing beats, feels tight then to hit a fall release. And if you're not hitting a fall release, you're into 2026.
Yeah, of course you are. And then it's at best case sort of that Easter period, March, April 2026, you'd have thought. So, look, we're optimists here. So let's see. I still think if I was to lay down some of my green currency, I would still say something this year, ideally trailer 2, December the 5th or 10th. There's the optimistic view.
I am equally as on board and optimistic. And as we said at the top of the show, as people keep commenting, please, Rockstar, we've given you a few dates. Just hit one of them. And then we'll have a whole nother year of stuff to talk about before the release of the game. All right, something quick to end the show with and something a bit of fun. I wanted to throw some things at you, Dan, and we can discuss this. What do we think the chances are of these things appearing in the game? Got 5 little things to talk about. How likely do we think they are? Let's go. A zoo. Sorry, I should probably have said that I was expecting some kind of response to these things. Point number 1. How likely do we think a zoo appearing in the game is?
Am I saying like out of 10 or just saying, what I think?
I mean, yeah, or a percentage, whatever. Or just some thoughts on, are we going to see a zoo in GTA 6?
I don't know, actually. We've not had a proper zoo before.
Never had a zoo.
And I think it's largely, I mean, obviously for fear of people running in with a shotgun and turning it into the scene of the most ungodly carnage. And I still wonder if that degree of moral panic would be there.
Well, there's definitely precedent for certain areas within games saying you can't have guns in this bit. So you could, go into the zoo and it say you can't get any weapons out in here. You can just walk around.
On that premise, there's a chance. If you're able to go in there with guns, no, because it would lead to the worst videos being released, and nobody wants that. So, if I was to rate it out of 10, I'm 5 out of 10 on that. I'm very in the middle.
All right, I'm leaning a bit more towards yes, only because I like the idea of
Yeah.
being able to walk around the zoo. The Zoo Miami in real life, which is just south of like Miami Center, down near Richmond Heights in real life. The caveat to this is that zoo has got almost 750 acres of space, 4 miles of walkways, and is home to more than 2,000 animals, representing 375 different species. That is a lot of animals and a lot of real estate. Obviously, I don't think the zoo is going to be that big.
Yes.
And it will be a GTA version of the zoo. But you do have to then consider you don't want to go to a zoo that is rubbish. So you want to be able to go and see a good number of animals.
Yeah.
And maybe, you know, exotic animals
Yeah.
that you wouldn't normally be able to get in a GTA game, like rhinos, giraffes, lions, that kind of thing. But also then you have to think of the modeling and the effort and the animation process behind all of those animals. And for what? For them just to sit in a zoo? Or, as we've previously discussed, maybe they do it enough and there's a zoo outbreak and you have to go around and somehow, you know, capture all the animals and plonk them back in the zoo. There's lots of fun things they could do with it, but I'm seeing it in two ways. Yes, it would be great. Yes, it would be cool to walk around, see some more exotic animals, but also someone has to then go and create all of those animals to make the zoo feel alive and worth going to, which is quite a lot of effort for something if you're just going to walk around it and it's like just there.
Yeah, I'm just in my mind role-playing how it could work. I think a fun thing might be, I mean, let's assume that rumour is true and Lucia has a child. If you were to explore the zoo with the child in a gun-free environment, doing something that's part of one of the core game mechanics, maybe that could work. I'm not saying I believe that. I'm just saying it would be fun.
Fine. Are you still on a 5 out of 10?
5 out of 10.
Okay, fine. Next up, a theme park which may or may not be based on Disneyland, Florida.
9 out of 10.
Absolutely.
I think they've got to do this. They're in Florida, Leonida. I don't know. I'm not saying 9 out of 10. That's again more me wanting it than it being a reality.
Okay.
There's another danger of like, they've got to be a little bit careful about where the line is between Coca-Cola, you know, Sprunk, however they name it. It's a legal minefield if they were implicated it being too close to another famous park that's located in this area. But it would be cool. It would be really cool, like a super fun thing to include, even if it's like an abandoned or dysfunctional park or something. That might be another way you could do it with a bit less risk involved. Again,
so that's like you're not actually going on the rides, but the rides are there.
Maybe that would be safer than, again, the potential for someone going in with a rocket launcher and approaching a cartoon mascot or whatever the sort of things are that could go wrong in GTA when it meets what's essentially a family holiday location. I'm actually going to dial back my 9 out of 10. I'm role-playing it in my mind, thinking this, again, is a moral minefield.
But, I mean, you could say the same thing about the pier in GTA 5 to a lesser extent, but that is very much a tourist destination. It's got a little roller coaster on it. A lot of families go there in real life. It's just in the GTA 5 world. It's not families. It's just, you know, people hanging out and all adults. So it could just be a version of that.
Yeah, so I think it's more likely than zoos, but again, it's a moral quandary.
All right. The next one I think is almost a given. Characters having different special abilities, like we saw in GTA 5, also see in Red Dead 2. I can't see them shying away from this and giving them different abilities based on different things. Is that almost a lock-in?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. We talked about it previously. I don't know if special abilities were really... I almost forgot they existed in GTA 5. But yeah, I think they'll probably carry that on.
2 left. First up, missions where we visit, or a mission where we visit another location that is not accessible on the main map.
Yes.
I.e. Guarma, which you haven't got to in Red Dead Redemption 2.
I've had spoiled for me,
or
so that's good.
North Yankton in GTA 5.
Yep.
Are we going to see area like that which we will go to at some point in the story?
I'm going to say yes, which by defaults to it being in 10 out of 10. Oh my God, that's so strong.
Much more likely than zoos or a theme park.
There's just form for it, and it's such a great way to create a talking point in the game.
Yes. I think that's nailed on almost, and would be a fun thing to explore. And then finally, in a callback to GTA 5, UFOs. Some kind of UFO, paranormal, ghosts, like all of that kind of stuff. I can see why not put that into a game of this scale. I think UFOs will come back.
Yeah, I agree with you just because it's so fun. And it's a mystery in the real world that keeps on giving. It just feels very GTA to have something, whether it's quite the same as previous UFO mysteries, but something, or whatever they're not UFOs anymore, are they? They're what they called.
Are we not calling them UFOs?
No, there's a different word now for UFOs.
No, there isn't.
There is.
No way.
There is. It's I'll tell you now. Hang
they're
on.
unidentified flying objects.
No.
Well, they're not identified flying objects.
I'll tell you what they are.
Go on.
They're UAPs. So it sounds like the old age version of UFOs. They're actually now UAPs, unidentified anomalous phenomena. Try saying that.
That's difficult.
After a few Red Bulls. That's ridiculous. But yeah, UAPs is becoming the default term for UFOs. You'd be surprised to know.
Is that a like official government term that they're calling them now?
Yeah, this is what they're rolling out. So I know certainly the UK government were doing this, but I think also the US government. They're becoming UAPs.
Well, I'm not conforming to that.
Reports
rubbish.
CBS News. So
no,
I'm afraid. Get with the program. Don't be an OAP. Get with the UAP.
I'm sticking in the
That's
past.
the phrase they prototyped and threw out for being too stupid.
I'm going to call them UFOs from now and forever.
No, I'm with you. It feels like the UAP mystery, too stupid. I want to say something that came to my mind, and I couldn't not say it, but actually it's wrong. As I was reading Miami, I went, wouldn't it be funny if they had a theatre play called Miami Mia in GTA? But then I realised that Miami's not even real, so it would be Leonidas, so that joke doesn't work. Miami Mia, here we go again.
Okay, right.
Sorry, it's late in the podcast.
Oh well, that's all right. Well, so I'm going to give that a 1 out of 10.
What? That's good. Someone somewhere needs to do Miami Mia.
I do think there will be a theatre, like more of those in non-interactive, performance-based locations, like comedy clubs, like theatres, like that kind of thing that you can go and see and watch 5 minutes of something. I think that'll be in there. That's not on my list. That's just something we've thrown in at the end. But that I'm giving a strong 8 out of 10. And that is just about it for this week, Dan. We've finished another episode. We're 1 week closer to the release, 1 week closer to trailer 2, whenever that does come. So thank you all for listening this week. Get in touch with us on Twitter at GTAVOclock and via email at gtavio'clock@gmail.com. Put your comments below. As Dan said at the top, if you're listening on podcast services, please go and rate the show. It does really help us. Next week, we're going to try and do something a little bit different. We've lined up another special interview, and if everything comes together, we'll be able to bring you more news on that next week as part of next week's show. Dan will be on holiday, but that does not affect what we are doing. In fact, Dan is going to be conducting the interview. So hopefully, if all that comes together, next week will be pretty exciting.
Yeah, so I will be here, but not live. Not that we're live anyway.
Thank you all for watching again. Look out for that on next week's show, and we'll be back next week for another episode of GTA 6 O'Clock.